We're going to find all local extreme values of the graph of f of x equals 2x minus tan of x by using second derivatives, and we're restricted between negative pi divided by 2 and pi divided by 2. That's quadrants 1 and 4, or like that. So basically, let's just look at our first derivative, f prime of x. So derivative of 2x is 2. Derivative of tan of x is secant squared of x. Let's go ahead and do our second derivative as well. So our second derivative is just going to be, the 2 goes away, but remember secant can be written as secant of x squared. So using the chain rule, we still have this negative, so it's negative 2 times secant of x, and then that would be to the first power, times the derivative of the inner function, which is secant x tan of x. So this is going to equal negative 2 secant squared of x when you multiply these two, and then tan of x. All right, now let's set these to 0 to find out what we have. So let's first do f prime of 0, and that's going to give you 2 minus secant squared of 0. That means we're going to have secant squared of x equals 2. Therefore, secant of x equals plus or minus square root of 2. Or you could say that cosine of x equals plus or minus 1 divided by square root of 2. That makes it a little easier. So that means our x is going to be at pi divided by 4, or x is equal to negative pi divided by 4 in between our intervals here. Now, that means we have local extreme values at these two places here. Now, f double prime of pi divided by 4, and I'm substituting in my critical numbers here. I'm going to substitute that in. We're going to get this equals negative 2 secant squared of pi divided by 4 times tan of pi divided by 4. And this is going to give you negative 2, and I'm going to move this down here, cosecant of pi divided by 4, like that, square it, times tan of pi divided by 4. Now tan of pi divided by 4 is just 1. So basically what we're going to get is this is going to be negative 2 divided by 1 half times 1. And this is going to equal negative 4, which is negative. So that means that's going to be, if it's negative, that means it's going to be a maximum here. And I'll show you that in a minute. Now let's go ahead and do f double prime negative pi divided by 4. And that's going to give you negative 2 secant squared negative pi divided by 4 times tan of negative pi divided by 4. This is going to give you negative 2. I'm going to rewrite this as cosine of negative pi divided by 4 squared times tan of negative pi divided by 4. Now this just equals negative 1. All right, so this piece here is going to equal the same thing we got before, but negative 2 divided by 1 half times negative 1. And this is going to equal positive 4, which is positive. That means you're going to have, since it's positive, you're going to have a minimum. So here's the little graph here. Since this is negative pi divided by 4, since it's positive, that means on the right side of this point here, it's positive. And before we had negative, so on the right side of pi divided by 4, it was negative. that means it's a maximum. Now we're left to find what these values are. So we have to substitute them back in. So we're going to substitute in f of pi divided by 4. And that's going to be your maximum value. That's going to equal 2 times pi divided by 4 minus tan of pi divided by 4. That's going to be pi divided by 2 minus 1. So at pi divided by 4, this value here is going to be pi divided by 2 minus 1. Now at f of negative pi divided by 4, it's going to be 2 times negative pi divided by 4 minus tan of negative pi divided by 4. That's going to give you negative pi divided by 2 minus a negative 1. That gives you negative pi divided by 2 plus 1. So that's this value here. So that's negative pi divided by 2 plus 1. So the local maximum value is at pi divided by 2 minus 1. That's when x is pi divided by 4. And your local minimum here, I'll do that, is at negative pi divided by 2 plus 1. That's when x, and this is your x line, this is a one-dimensional graph here. This occurs at when x is negative pi divided by 4. And that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.